Hey guys, Cinema Sickness here with the next installment of the building of the new cinematic media library. And today, what I have to show you is shelves all the way around the room. I know last time I talked to you, I said I was probably just going to get, just this wall finished, just a little section over here done. I went a little overboard and just bunkered down, got really into it, and finished off all the shelves I could. And what I mean by all the shelves I could is that there's also shelves that'll be right here. They'll go up over the top of the door and also in this area as well, too. I'm not sure if I'm going to go behind the pole or not. Haven't figured that out yet. But have to get the door put in before I can build those shelves because I have to know the exact dimensions of where the door is, where the shelves are going to go, and all that good stuff. Now, this weekend, the weekend that just passed, actually, the door was supposed to be put in the door, and the drywall that's going on this wall and this wall, which is right there, there's the door. It was supposed to be put in. However, I haven't been able to get a hold of my friend who's doing all the waterproofing and the drywalling and everything and hanging the door. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. I'm not sure what's going on. Actually, a little concerned because I've never had trouble getting a hold of him before. He's definitely coming back. I mean, here's all his tools. He's got his power saw and his drill, his toolbox, a jackhammer. I mean, all this stuff is still here. So it's not like he bailed or anything like that. But yeah, kind of weird. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Not sure if there was an emergency or something. Tried contacting him through the phone. Couldn't get a hold of him. Tried him on Facebook. He hasn't even checked the messages. So not sure what's going on there. But hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of him soon, and he will be coming over to hang the door. Couldn't do it myself, I suppose, but I did pay him to do it, so I will just hold off for now. Plus, I have other things I can do down here besides hanging doors. For instance, still need to paint the rafters. I will probably be doing that this week, at least in theory. That's the idea, is that the rafters will at least get painted. At least I will start painting them. I'll do, one coat or however many coats I need. I do have to clean them as well. I got to take a bottle of water and bleach and spray them all down to make sure they're nice and clean, because you can't start painting extremely dirty rafters. That would be bad. So got to do that yet. Yes, I will be putting plastic tarps all over the movies and the floor and everything like that, to avoid getting bleach or water or anything on them. So no worries about that. As far as what I've brought down here, I brought a lot. I brought my Blu-rays, HDVDs, soundtracks, DVDs, most of my VHS. I'm like halfway through S that I brought down. As you can see, I got stuff stacked up here, VHS tapes stacked up here, and I started putting stuff away. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do this yet. This wall is what I kind of started working on last night, and as you can see, it's a mixture of everything. There's Blu-rays, DVDs, UMDs, soundtracks, VHS, Betamax, HDVD, and so on and so forth, all mixed in together. It's something I've done before. I've had my collection look like this before. The reason kind of why I want to do this is to get as much room out of my collection as I possibly can. And then what I mean by that is, for instance, when I have my DVDs, I need to leave space to add more DVDs. Then I need to put my Blu-rays up, and I have to leave space to add more Blu-rays and HD DVDs and soundtracks and VHS, Betamax, and so on and so forth. I gotta leave space at the end of every collection of formats. There has to be space left to add more to it. So the issue with that is I end up having a whole bunch of leftover gaps, a whole bunch of space that could be used but is open because I need to leave more room for more formats. Doing it this way eliminates that. I don't need to leave room for anything because everything's together. There's no, I don't need to leave room at the end for more DVDs because DVDs and Blu-rays and everything are just all together. So that's sort of what I like about this. Also, I like things, for instance, you can see Appleseed. I have Appleseed on UMD, and then I have the sequel on DVD, stuff like that. Blues Brothers, I got VHS, I have Blu-ray, then I have the soundtrack, Blues Brothers 2000 on DVD, then the soundtrack again. Got some Beavis and Butthead here, 2 VHS, DVD, soundtrack, movie soundtrack. So you see what I'm saying was, it keeps stuff together. I mean, hell, my Batman here spans a whole bunch of different formats. So doing it this way puts things together as well, which I kind of like. So I'm not, I still haven't 100% decided if this is absolutely 100% the way I'm going to stay, or if I will go back to having all the formats separate. I don't know. Another thing I like is that just like right here and here, I could just do two little shelves in the middle of the room. That's all I plan on putting in the middle of the room for now. That'll feature my oversized things like laser discs, UMDs, collector sets, things like that. Things are just basically too large to fit on the shelves. My idea is to, anything that can fit on these shelves should go on these shelves. That's what I'm thinking. So, this is the way I've done it so far. I know this isn't the most popular way. A lot of people don't like this. They don't like seeing the formats together, which I don't have anything wrong with that. I'm fine with format integration. I think it looks okay. I'm definitely not against it. It's still the same thing. All the numbers are together, A's are together, B's are together, and so on and so forth. For me, it works. So that's the idea. And as you can see, I've only gotten through like D. I still have a long way to go before I finish doing that. So we'll see. I'll be working on that the next couple days. Hopefully it won't take all week. Because like I said, I would like to get around to possibly painting the rafters. I guess at the very least, maybe I'll do it this weekend. As far as carpet goes, I actually just today went out and talked to a carpet store about possibly getting carpet down here. I found a really nice carpet. It comes in different colors, but the one I liked the most was black. It's like a black, white, and gray, and it has film reels. I think it's like a background, and then if I'm not mistaken, it's like white and gray film reels in different shades, and it's covered in them. It looks really, really cool. I really liked it out of everything I saw. I thought it was the nicest, and I guess I see the classiest. They had ones with like admission tickets. Those were kind of cool too, but I didn't like it as much. And then all the other ones were like a little too colorful and just wasn't digging it. So the one I saw looked pretty cool. Got a quote. The price was pretty good. I was very into the price. So I just need to basically talk about how much it's going to cost to turn that into an area rug, because I'm sure they're going to charge you a certain amount of money to cap off the ends. Because I mean, as you can see, this is just regular carpet that's been cut. I don't want that. They actually take the ends and they sew them to avoid fraying. I'm sure that costs extra. Plus, it'll be a large carpet, so it's not going to fit on my car, so I'll have to have it delivered. Obviously, they'll charge me for that. So when all said and done, I just need to get a final cost on everything. But I did get the price, so I am on my way to getting carpet put down here. Again, it's just going to be an area rug. I'm not going to get something installed. I'm not going to get something big. Well, I mean, it is big, but not something wall-to-wall. It's just an area rug, a very large area rug. And once I do that, I can get a couch, I can get a TV stand, put the two shelves I plan on putting in again, like right there and right there. I can put those two shelves in, bring my computer down here. I can really start getting into it. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully that'll happen sometime soon. I would really like to have it at least ordered by the end of the week. That would be nice. So yes, that's how everything is coming along. As you see, again, basically just brought a lot of movies down here. That's what I've been working on. Almost had that finished until I went, hey, you know what? I'm going to do it this way instead, where I integrate all the movies together. And now it's going to take me even longer to get, everything down here and put away. So that's what I love doing. I love, making work for myself. And then, give me a month, I'll take all these down and do it some other way. Because as we all know, that's one thing I tend to do is reorganize my movies quite often. As you can see, I do have a little TV down here. I have been watching movies. Right now I'm watching... Oh, and it goes away. Right now I'm watching From Earth to the Moon. Great series so far. Really, really enjoying it. It's very, very entertaining. Definitely something I've been enjoying watching. But started watching that while putting my movies away. So again, that's it, guys. It's really all it's been done. Is the fact I just really wanted to show you that the shelves, for the most part, are done. And again, by what I mean by that is the fact that I still have to build the ones around the door frame, but I do have to wait for the door frame to be put in before I can do that. But as soon as that is done, you will see some shelves, again, going up and around the door. And this pole here, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I could just paint it, which I might just do. I could also carpet it too. I was thinking about maybe asking for, getting a little bit extra carpet cut. That's like the length of this, and then, kind of wrapping it around and gluing it on. Then it's something I was thinking about doing. Perhaps that, or maybe I'll just encase it with wood or shelf or something. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the pole yet. We'll figure that out. So it's kind of in the way, unfortunately. But if I take it down, the house falls down, and that would be bad. So, yes, that is it, guys. Again, shelves, carpet's been ordered, well, will be ordered, and rafters should hopefully be painted by the next update if I don't take too long putting away my movies. So that is it, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next installment. But one last thing before I go, actually, a lot of you have been asking me how I went about building my shelves. So I'm actually going to show you that really quickly. Hopefully I'll do a good job explaining it. I've never explained how you build shelves to anybody before or showed it in a video. But I did shoot some video of me building one of the shelves. So hopefully, again, I do a decent job explaining that. I also go to Lowe's and show you what kind of wood I buy. So again, hopefully I don't screw it up. Hopefully I do a decent job explaining it. Of course, if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. I would definitely love to answer them. So that's it for this update, but let's quickly take a look at how I actually go about building my shelves. See ya. Alright, so here we are at Lowe's, and we're going to take a look at all the wood that I buy. I want to give you guys a good idea of what type of wood I do get, and the sizes, and how much it costs. So let's go into Lowe's and buy some wood. Alright, as far as the wood for the actual shelving is concerned, this here is what I use. I usually grab the 1x6, I believe this is pine if I'm not mistaken. Yes, no, this is EWP whitewood board actually. It seems to be the cheapest, and you don't need anything heavy duty. I mean, you want something really nicely colored or something, I guess you can go with something else, but this is the cheapest. So I use these for the sides, and then they do actually have 4-foot cut boards, but I find at Lowe's, they're not usually 4 foot. They're usually either over or under. They're rarely ever exactly 4 foot. So what I do is I come over here and get the 8-foot ones cut in half, which actually is also cheaper because they cut wood for free. So to actually get 8-foot boards cut a half to 4 foot a piece for your cross shelves, it's actually cheaper, and you're going to get a better cut piece of wood. So that's usually what I go with for my shelves. And as far as backing for the shelves are concerned, I get this utility hardwood plywood. It's $13.28 a piece, which isn't too cheap, but it's not too expensive either. As you can see, I got all the pieces they've had in stock. They're all out now. They are right here. I actually had them cut it in half because they are a good height. They're 8x4, which is great, but unfortunately I can't fit that in my car. So I just have them cut it in half to 4 foot by 4 foot. And then they actually fit into my car. But this is what I use for my backing. It has this really nice kind of cherry sort of finish, which I really, really enjoy. So it's pretty cheap. It's the cheapest they have, and it works really well. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to show you how I actually build my shelves. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this shelf already built? Not exactly. This is one of the shelves that was up in the old Cinematic Media Library that was meant to hold VHS tapes on their side, meaning that these slots, each shelf, is not tall enough to hold a DVD. So I will have to take all these out and basically rebuild this shelf, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I will be cheating probably a little bit because at one point this shelf was actually built to properly hold DVDs, and then I shrunk it down to hold VHS. So I do already have all my holes pre-drilled. But again, I will explain how I go about measuring that and how I go pretty much in detail about building the shelves, because some of you guys did ask me to go as detailed as I possibly can on how to build these shelves. So I will show you pretty much everything from A to Z. Okay, so now that I have my shelf taken apart, the first thing I like to do is build the frame. So you want to take the two 6-foot pieces of wood, and yes, the sides are 6 foot, insides are 4 foot, and you want to make sure that all your inside shelves are being screwed to the inside of the wood. You don't want to have them on the bottom like that, because you're going to be screwed then. Your other pieces of wood won't fit inside, so make sure that the 4 foot boards get screwed inside, again, not outside. Don't have them on the bottom and on the top of your 6 foot boards. That'd be really bad. So again, I like to just, it's a little tough to do, but I like to build the framework first. I just feel it's more secure that way. And then I can also tip up my frame then on its side. And it's a lot easier to screw down than it is to screw in. So that's usually what I do first. But like I said, the main thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that you really need to make sure that your 4-foot pieces of board are screwed into the 6-foot, like on the side, not on the bottom, not on the top. Also, keep an eye out for defects. Like for instance, this board right here, it's got a little chip on the side here. So you want to try to make sure that all your pieces of wood with any defects on the side are all on the same side. That way that can be the back, not the front. So you want to make sure you do that. I'll look over these pieces of wood and make sure that's the case, but that's the very beginning. Okay, now the framework is put together, as you can see. Again, this is the way I like to start it off, as it just makes it easier to handle. So now you got to figure out the width of your shelves, how how much space is going to be in each shelf. Now with it's pretty easy to figure it out. What you got to do is take your DVD or Blu-ray, whatever you're going to do, take the height of that and divide it by the height of the 6-foot board. But you always want to leave a little bit of room. I like to leave a little bit of room because some special edition cases come a little bit taller, things like that. I also make all mine just a height for a DVD, so my shelves, my Blu-rays on it are still the same height as they would be for a DVD. I mean, you don't need to do that. I prefer to do it that way though. For me, I found it's about 8 3/4 measurement. So every time you measure down 8 3/4. I mark it off, from the top, mark a little hash, and then I put the end of my tape measure right where the little hash is, mark another one, and just go, again, every 8 3/4. That will give you with I guess you can say bottom or top, depending on which way you want to flip your shelf. It will give you with one shelf that's a little bit bigger, which is, it could be nice if you want to store maybe some larger items on there. Again, it won't be a huge difference. It's maybe like a ½ inch or like an inch or ½ inch difference. That's it. It's not some giant, huge shelf you get to work with, but you will have a little bit of extra space on one shelf. It's just sort of the way it works out. I mean, if you want to get really, really technical with it, I'm sure you can go right down to the exact measurement and get each one of your shelves perfectly the same height. For me, I just kind of went with quarters. I just said, okay, if I want to break it down into quarters, how could I do that? Because I just want to keep it simple. Didn't want to get all into 8ths and 16ths and stuff like that. Screw that. So I just went with breaking it down into 4ths and get 8 3/4 seems to work. So that's about it. Like I said, all my drills are already pre-holed, so all my holes are pre-drilled. Wow, dyslexic much. So I don't need to do any measuring or anything like that. I'm pretty much good to go right now because, like I said, the shelf was already built once before, so my holes are already drilled. But you don't need to pre-drill anything like that. Like I said, I just mark off each shelf, put the shelf in there, and then screw it in. Also, what I like to do is with my shelf, I take the little hash mark I made and line the shelf up in between that hash mark. I don't use it as I don't line the shelf up at the top and the bottom of the piece of wood. I line up it right in the middle. I just, again, think it works better that way. You don't necessarily have to do it that way because you do have a little bit of space on the one shelf. So I guess if you really wanted to, you could probably get away maybe with making that like getting the top and the bottom of your piece of wood. But I like to line it up right in the middle of the hash mark. It just works out better for me. At least that's how I personally feel. So let's get down to screwing all the pieces of wood in. Alright, so as you can see now, all the shelves are on, and now I'm going to put the backing on. And that's pretty simple. One of the nice things about the backing is the fact that it comes in, as you saw, comes in 8x4 sheets. I have them cut in half to 4x4 so I can actually fit into my car. But since it is 4 feet wide, that's perfect for this because the shelves, the actual center planks of wood, those are 4 feet, so it'll fit right on there. So you won't be able to nail it into the side. I do want to point that out. The side pieces of wood, the 6-foot pieces of wood, you won't be able to nail the backing into that. That's not going to be possible. But what I do is I nail it into the bottom piece, and then from there, I just nail it all along the sides into the actual center shelf beams, and then mark it off with a, well, I use a old wall bracket because I need something really long, but you can use a ruler. I guess you really can't use a yardstick. Something really long to mark off each shelf. So that I will actually show you in a second what I really mean, but right now we're going to get down to nailing on the backing. Alright, well the backing is nailed on for the most part. I haven't nailed on the actual board to like the center planks completely yet, just sort of nailed around the perimeter. So now what I want to do is, and I use, like I said, this is the only thing really long enough I have. I don't want to use like a tape measure because you really can't use it as a straight edge or anything like that. So I just take this old wall bracket, and from there, what I do is I lay it on the back of the board and I center up the nails. Put it right on the center of each nail, because the nails on the end here, they're actually going into the center boards. Because you can see, you know, where you need to nail it in on each side, but once you get it on, you're kind of screwed. So I just take it, and I can do it without sliding it. There you go. And then just mark it off. I guess you could use a chalk line or anything like that if you really wanted to. This is how I do it. It's pretty simple, and now I have a line that I can just nail right across. Well, alright, the backing is now all nailed on, and obviously it doesn't come up all the way. We still have the top of the shelf here without any board on it. Well, obviously I think you know what to do there. You take your other half of the board, lay it down, do exactly the same thing. There will be some overlap, and that you just cut off. You can cut it off by hand, using a handsaw if you want. That'll take forever. What I recommend doing is getting a power saw if you have one of those, and just quickly power sawing down it. That'll take you like 15 seconds to do. So that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else to do with this actual shelf as it is. So I'm going to put that last piece of backing on, and then we'll take a look at how it looks once it's complete. So alright guys, here's the finished product. I mean, is it absolutely perfect? No, but it's pretty good. I mean, you can see some things like, you can see a little bit through there. That's just some strange things where each one of these boards isn't cut exactly. I mean, the sides are not 100% 6 feet. The centers aren't exactly 100% 4 feet. You know, they range maybe a little bit here and there. Things like, you know, maybe like a 1/16 of an inch off or something like that. It is kind of annoying, but that's just the way it goes. But it still works. It still works out fine. It's not like it causes some huge stink. As far as what you see up here, that is simple measuring. You just build them the same exact way. You just need to measure from there up to your rafters to find out what kind of, you know, how big you need your sideboard here to be. That's all you gotta do. And then you just build the same exact way. I only have one plank going in the middle, so I just measure down from, you know, I measure how long it is, measure right in the middle, just put a plank along the middle there. So it's really, really easy to build the top part. But that's how you build a shelf. I keep falling over my tripod. Hopefully I did a decent job in explaining that. I've never, you know, explained to anybody how to build something before, so whether or not I did a good job, I'm not sure, but hopefully the answer is yes. One thing I don't think I said was I do screw in the boards to each other, so I use screws for that. And then for the backing, I use nails. So in case anybody was wondering, I prefer screws because it just seems to hold things together better. And especially since, like I said, some of the boards are a little bit different in size, not 100% the same, it tends to pull the boards together too. If you have a board that's off a little bit, the screw will kind of like suck the boards in together, so it won't be an issue. So that's it, guys. I hope, again, I hope I did a good job explaining that. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask.